Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Jacqueline Close-Moore and you're on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV. I'm coming to you live from my lounge room. It's COVID crazy time. I've got my... I know. Look, COVID had interesting effects, didn't it? But one of the great things about COVID and Melbourne being kind of out of lockdown is the ability to get the heck out of Melbourne and to get into Melbourne, have coffee. Melbourne, coffee. Anyway, getting down to Warrnambool last week, I absolutely adored going down there. Walked all the way down the Gibson Steps and all the way down the beach and all the way back up the Gibson Steps, which... You ever heard of the 12 Apostles? So people in America, it's like a really beautiful part of Australia. It's the southwest coast where I come from, off a farm down there where we had cows, which explains my love of the Egyptian goddess Hathor, who, anyway, that's going to be a long story. So, we're going down to the 12 Apostles, Peterborough, Warrnambool, and one of my favourite places to go in Warrnambool, so I had to feature these lovely people, is actually the Warrnambool Hotel and Hot Springs, which you can stay there and watch the sea, and then you can float in the hot springs. You can have a private spa and just go, like that. And it's just really heavenly. And you can have a massage. You can get a spray tan if you want one. You can eat. There's like really good food there. It's usually a good thing to eat every now and again. But I'm actually joined today by Lauren from the Deep Blue Hotel and Hot Springs in Warrnambool. She's actually in Warrnambool in the salt room. They've actually got a salt room there. It's like, what have they not got? Have you got a water slide there, Lauren? And welcome to the show, by the way.
Hi, everyone. We don't have a water slide just yet, but we do have 15 incredible outdoor pools in the Hot Springs Sanctuary, as well as an indoor bathhouse.
I adore it there. We walked around the sanctuary last Friday when I hadn't got my internet sorted for the show. So it was really great doing that. It was a very restful feeling. And can you tell me the history of the hot springs, like how long... how were the geothermal springs found there and when did it start?
Yeah, so first of all, hot springs water all around the world is very unique. It has to do with geographical events over the years that affect the minerals in the rocks. So in 2004, the hotel was originally built. A bore was sunk, which established the indoor bathhouse. Then just last year, after a good few years of planning, design and development, we launched the open-air hot spring sanctuary. So we've now got new 15 outdoor bathing pools, a Nourish Dome cafe, an amazing sanctuary outside for a whole heap of new people to come and enjoy.
And do you know what components are in the hot springs, like the water at all? Like I know that there's a bit of selenium in it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so there's some really health beneficial minerals and heat. So there's silica, which is great for your hair, skin and nails. Magnesium, which also helps with the help to relieve muscle tension. Selenium, as you said, and there's a whole host of minerals which we outline those on our website.
Cool. And so if people are trying to find Deep Blue Hotel and Hot Springs, you can actually go on, it's thedeepblue.com.au, is that the correct address?
Thedeepblue.com.au. We try to provide as much information as we can on the website so that people can really get ready and get relaxed and ready for their visit. We outline all of the different wellness experiences we offer here at the hotel, including the outdoor sanctuary, the indoor bathhouse, private bathing rooms, a salt therapy room, an infrared sauna, and day spa treatments.
Yeah, it's really cool. I find that I can just melt when I go there and just like, oh yeah. I used to actually live in the area and commute to Melbourne for work, so I would leave it at dawn. Why not? And then I'd drive for 3 hours to get to Melbourne. I'd work in Melbourne. I'd stay overnight in Melbourne. I'd work in Melbourne. I'd maybe stay overnight in Melbourne or go home. And I'd work 2-3 days in a row and then go home. And because I was living only an hour from the hot springs, I would then just go, time for a spa. And so I was doing that 2 or 3 days. And I just was like, floating on in and floating on out. It's very stress-free. It's like, oh, yeah, It was a very, very special time. We actually found that I had a lot less fatigue. I was really relaxed. People go like, why are you smiling all the time? Like, I go to a special place. And they'd say, oh, is that one of your, sacred sites, Jacqueline? I go, well, it is kind of sacred to me. So I'd bring friends down because it was just that relaxing. But I find for very, sensitive people, and a lot of people watching the show tend to be empathic, or they're healers, or they're psychics. And so it's really helpful in the de-stressing of that sort of thing, to be able to come into a place of rest like that. But it's also, it's quite revitalizing. So it's not just walking around in sort of like this Zen space only. It's kind of recharging you. So you also do massage there. What kind of massage are they actually doing? Because I sort of know what my experience is, but people watching.
Yeah, so our day spa therapists offer relaxation massage, so for 30, 60 or 90 minutes. So you can do massage alone or coupled with a facial. Hot springs bathing before a massage is an amazing way to release the tension in your muscles, and then you kind of get more out of your massage. There's, a whole host of day spa therapies, including mud wraps and, all the goodies.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to highlight it is because in Melbourne and in Victoria, people think of Hepburn Springs, or they might start to think of Rye, but Warrnambool, it's like the ultimate getaway because you're seeing the most amazing landscape and seascape, and just the rolling hills you come through some of the way. Like particularly if there's places you can stand, like in Camperdown, you can actually see this massive, like the Mount Elephant and all this sort of thing, and it's just an amazing part of the world, and it's a really great place to base yourself if you're wanting to travel around there, I find. But yeah, so what is the sort of plans for the hot springs and that whole sort of therapeutic line over this next couple of years? Have you got sort of plans to expand things holistically speaking?
Yeah, so I think we do have scope to expand the wellness offering here at the hotel. There's also plans to look at how to link up with the establishment of a wellness trail, which would help people to explore the Great Ocean Road and Victoria. And so, it's an exciting couple of years ahead. We're just kind of taking a slow approach to the reopening now, coming out of, all of that other stuff that's happened over the last few months.
The lockdown's been crazy, yeah.
And it's been really well received. Since we've reopened the doors, people are really eager to get back into those wellness experiences and to find a sense of, betterment and emotional and physical well-being.
Yeah. Do you still have yoga down there, or is that one of the things you're looking at doing?
So we have scope to activate some of the spaces to bring in special events such as yoga. We will be exploring crystal healing, Reiki, those sorts of things. So in the design of the sanctuary, we were mindful of being able to activate those spaces down the track. We have, in the past, we've had an incredible cave in one of the sensory caves which we have out there. We've had a didgeridoo, sound healing. We've had crystal bowls. We've had a gong in the sanctuary. So we're really excited about all the different things that we can do going forward as well.
Yeah, it's really, I find it incredibly therapeutic, particularly for women, because a lot of the time women are very focused on the family, they're focused on everyone and everything else, and it sort of gets a bit much. And then this is one of those places you can actually just feel very luxurious. It's actually not expensive. Like these are really good services, but they're really not, the prices aren't way up here as you expect with some of the places. And so it's actually really realistic for people to actually get away and get that benefit without breaking the bank. Do you get a lot of people from different parts of the world or different parts of Victoria with this as well?
We do, certainly. There's people who seek out destinations based on hot springs, so they're actively looking for hot springs. They're hot springs enthusiasts. We have people who are what we call habitual bathers, so they may bathe in hot springs as a part of their weekly health regime. So we have people who come from interstate looking for a retreat, a coastal retreat where they can have a massage, they can bathe in the hot springs and, take the time to for themselves to relax. We've also introduced family-friendly sessions, so now you can, spend that quality time with your partner and your children. But we also have a twilight session, which we've reserved for adults only, for those who are just wanting to get away from the kids, which is a pretty incredible experience at sundown out there in the sanctuary. So we really have tried to make it as inclusive as we can now, so that more people can access the facilities.
Sure. And so you're actually sitting in the salt room. For people who have heard of salt rooms, do you want to just explain that a little bit for people?
Yeah, so we've designed a purpose-built salt room, which the general benefits of salt therapy is for respiratory cleansing. It's a great place to come in and just relax, close your eyes, put your headphones on, lay back for a 45-minute session, and it helps to clear the nasal passages. It's just a nice place to be.
That's really good. Look, thank you so much for joining me today. We're running out a bit of time here, but it's been wonderful speaking with you. I actually found it really helpful. I had a fractured sacrum, which I was having twice a week, the bathing, and it actually made a massive difference. I was able to work and work out right through a fractured sacrum using those hot springs. So it's just amazing. So thank you for joining us on the show. If you're wanting to find the Deep Blue Hotel and Hot Springs, you can Google that on the internet. They're down in Warrnambool. It's a beautiful place to go to. Thoroughly recommended myself. I go there all the time, and we'll catch you up with all of you next week. There's more shows on tonight on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. In the meantime, going to love you and leave you. Catch you next week, same bat time, same bat channel.